Problem in many families. As time goes on and the kids get older, the accumulation of their primary school paintings and those collaged cats start piling up in the attic or the dusty corner of the spare room that no one ever visits anymore. But perhaps it's not such a bad problem to have. Think of all the children who travel in and out of foster care and never have the opportunity to keep those memories. Well, to help store the keepsakes of the state's 18,000 children in foster care, Barnardos Australia has developed a digital memory box. Wendi Keenen is the Senior Manager of the Barnardos Practice Development Centre and can tell us more about the initiative today. G'day, Wendi.
Good afternoon, Nick.
What a fascinating idea, and half the time I thought maybe everyone should have this in their household.
Yeah, it's a sad fact that a lot of our children in out-of-home care, a lot of their memories are lost. A lot of them move from placement to placement. Some children can have up to 9 placements over their lifetime in care. And as they move placements, a lot of their information is lost. And as you've just alluded to, as parents, you keep all that information. You have that child's life story. We're developing MyStory, our case management system. We provide a digital life story for these children. We can keep all of their memories from medical reports, health reports, photos, drawings, all those things that a family has of a child, young person.
So how would it work? Where would the documents go?
So the documents we have, it's a guided practice case management system, and a child in care will have a caseworker, and that caseworker will be responsible for documenting, keeping up to date the information within the electronic case management system, MyStory. They will meet with the child in person on a regular basis, and they will meet with the carers, and keep a history of the child's health, education, identity within the case management system. Carers and the child are encouraged to participate within the planning process.
And will children be able to log into the systems themselves and add to the box?
As we continue to develop MyStory, where the aim is over the next few years that children will actually have their own login to MyStory and be able to access all of that information for themselves at the drop of a hat.
It is around 12 to 3 here on 12:33 ABC Newcastle. I'm Nick Eber with you on Afternoons. Joining me is Wendi Keenen, Senior Practice Manager for Barnardos Practice Development Centre, talking about the digital storybox here on, or digital memory box, I should say, here on 12:33. Wendi, how difficult or emotionally straining is it for kids to replace these items if they do get lost?
Oh, it's impossible. In a lot of cases, it's impossible. Children can come into care at 2-3 years old. And as they move through placements, that information and personal items can get lost. Even information relating to their family history can get lost over time as they move from placements, and it's very emotionally challenging for them. They lose their sense of identity and who they are, why they came into care, and why they are where they are now. So enabling a system like MyStory, where that child's information can be stored and kept for over time, enables that child to look back, and for caseworkers to talk through all that information as they grow older and explain to them. They can see and have a better sense of identity of who they are and what happened to them and why.
Because identity often isn't thought about when it's going through. You're mainly focusing on care and making sure everything's okay, and then later on you realise that, particular drawings or important information like birth certificates or medical information are kind of have been lost.
Yeah, that's correct. All of those things, and MyStory enables us to upload and store all of those medical reports, health reports, all those drawings, photos, awards, certificates, builds up a life story of that child, young person from their time in care. It may be a short period of time. Unfortunately, for a lot of children, that can be a long period of time.
Was there any particular case study that called for the digital memory box to come into effect? All
children, I think it's over time. There are so many young children and young people in out-of-home care across the whole of Australia. There are over 39,000 children, and as you said, there are 18,000 in New South Wales alone. So there's no particular case study, but all children they need to know who they are and where they've come from. They need to have that sense of identity and belonging. And MyStory enables them to reflect back on their life and have all that information to hand.
Will there be any danger, like with pesky smart devices these days, that the data could be lost from the cloud or the box?
MyStory is secure and it's backed up on a regular basis. So there's the originals and there's a backup of that information. So it's very secure.
Good to hear, Wendi. And I think it's a fantastic initiative and maybe something that all households should be doing. Thanks for joining us on 1233 to tell us more.
No worries. Thank you very much.
That's Wendi Keenen, Senior Manager of Bernardo's Practice Development Centre, talking more about an initiative to keep fostered children's memories and important information in a digital memory box as they move from carer to carer.